Welcome everyone to the Real Estate Deli. I'm your host, Money Making Mando on IG. Money Making Mando. You can call me Mando. Here with another episode where we cut through all the noise and deliver actionable insight straight to you and make the information the star always. So I'm glad that we have a guest today, Susie Casper. I'm glad you're on. What's going on, Susie?
Oh, another beautiful day in Colorado, and I'm glad to be here. So excited that you asked me on.
I love it. Colorado's finest in the house. Let's get into it, Susie. Tell us a little bit about yourself. What are you doing in the real estate space? What are some wins you've had lately? Let's get right into some successes, things that you feel good about, feel confident, right? Sometimes when you have stuff that happens in a positive way, it just lights you up and makes you feel confident and be able to delve right into
Yep.
it. So I like to lead with that.
Yep. Well, I jumped into the real estate world about a year ago, and I've been doing some private money lending. I have one loan due back. The other one is finished made some great returns.
Awesome.
And I've private money partnered into some properties, and we have our first sub two. I own my own business, which was one investment from years ago. And I'm also a limited partner in a couple businesses with you. We
Awesome.
are partners.
Awesome. Yes, we are, right? Sometimes I forget about that stuff, but we are, right?
It came to me last night when I was thinking about it. It's like, yeah, we're partners.
Absolutely right. So yeah, I'm glad to hear about your wins and your successes. Can we go into some detail about those transactions that you felt so good about? You made some money off of?
Yeah. Well, we joined in and figured the best way is to build those relationships. I think that's one of the biggest takeaways. We spent a few months doing that before we got into any good deals. We looked to buy a property and met a connector who was lending. We had been looking to partner with him on properties. And so he was a great introduction to lenders. We, in our group, sub two, we have someone who is flipping quite a few houses, quite a bit of experience, and she borrows quite a bit, has fulfilled. So our connector kind of brought us together. And we did, it was not that big of a loan. It was supposed to be, that one was a 120-day loan, I think, for, 30,000. It was going to be 15% flat interest on that one. She came in a little over a month late, and we actually set up and stuff with service fees for that. Ended up making like 33+% on our loan in 6 months, just over. So that was a pretty good start off. We have another loan. Same people are involved.
Okay.
And she's running a little late on that too. It was a 15% flat, but I think we may come in at something. We're waiting for the exact payoff date in the next week or so to come back for that. And depending on when that is, we'll make in just over 6 months, 25% maybe on that loan.
Okay.
So not doing too bad there. And then we went to Squat Up Summit, and we had a partner here in Denver. And while we flew down there, we had a deal to partner in with a property that he owns here. It's a old house on 6 acres. And so we private money partnered on that one. It was to help upgrade it for a VA loan. It was in a wrap. We already had a person in the house, and that guy was gonna build his credit, get a VA loan, but it had to pass standards for inspections on a VA. And that was bringing in, we were making pretty good returns on that one. We were bringing in our half, $600 a month, just on our half of partnering in on that. That took a little twist.
Yeah.
The guy moved out in the middle of the night with all his animals. It was on 6 acres, agricultural land. And we turned around, we filled the house. It's covering itself. We're not making the big returns, but it's zoned A2, which allows us to do a ton on 6 acres of land. So we are doing feasibility studies and seeing where that little loan is bringing us into, owning this property, a little pivot, as they say, pivot, and we
Yeah,
may
yes,
be.
absolutely. I have some questions.
Yeah.
Do you use personal funds or you do business credit when you're lending out? How's that transactions going?
I am building to use other people's funds, but so far I've been using my own. I was set up, well, I had money that
Okay.
was needing to be moved anyways.
Okay.
Um, and so my parents passed just recently.
Sorry
And
to hear
so
that.
I had some money sitting there and I had to move it around. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm just going to start,
Deploying.
deploying that since it's there and it has to go somewhere.
I hear you. I'm sorry to hear that, but I'm sure they're in a great place watching
Yep.
your daughter.
Yep. So yeah, I use that, but I have I've gone back to my connector, reached out to me and needed a last minute, a lender dropped out of a deal close to closing time. And I've built up my connections now where in under an hour took a new lender and got to know her, connected the two in under an hour, and she was stepping in the next couple of days to fund that deal with her money. So just shows that those building those relationships and gaining, a little bit of experience and letting people know what I'm doing, it's bringing them in for other deals to come.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's all in the network and that relationship building, that dating process, right? Just to get to know each other some. And I always say women provide a different level of safety, have a different intuition. So I'm sure that comes into play as well, right? Other than guys, sometimes we just are more gun ho. Right? But going back to those loans that are I mean those loans that haven't come in yet that are a little late. Those are flips, correct?
They're flips, and the first one came in. I was never really worried on them because of her reputation. When we were offered these loans, the great thing about our connector is we walk through step by step each point of the process. We got the past HUDs, all the work that she had done, not all the work because she's done a lot, but her recent work, saw all the loans that she had paid back. And doing a flip, you can get delayed a little bit, but
Yes.
he walked us through step by step on evaluating the borrower, step by step of underwriting the deal. It helps to, my husband is a residential appraiser, licensed residential appraiser. So our underwriting skills are fairly good, let's say.
They're up to par.
They're up to par. So, it wasn't a big question. It's just, this is how real estate goes. It's running a little late. She stayed always in contact with us. So yeah, it's one of those finding the right connections, the right people. I'm, this one's running late too, but that's real estate. And we've never felt worried about the deal just because she's always in contact with us, always giving updates.
That's a great relationship, a great operator, a great way to do business, right? To stay engaged and connected and put everyone's feelings at ease, right? Sometimes when you have money out there as your personal money, you get concerned if things are not moving as you expected. There's something about expectations. If they're not met, it makes you feel a certain type of way, right? So it's also that you have that connection that everything can get resolved through a conversation, right? And what was the timeline on the flips?
One was 120 days, and one was 4 months, one was 6 months.
Okay.
And running. They both are going a little over 6 months. So, so yeah, I mean and problems with, I think the first one, the appraisal came in too high and the lender didn't like that. So second appraisal then, you know what I mean, to refinance out. So, it's most of the time people are worried about them coming in too low, but if they come in too high.
I never heard of that. And how
That
the appraiser was like, no, the lender was like, no, this is not going to work out.
this doesn't sound, we have questions on this. We want to get a different appraisal on this. And there goes your whole timeline.
OMG. Wow.
Set up due dates, you know what I mean? Which as a lender, it's like, that's in the deal. It's like, well, that's good. It's,
that feels good.
The property looking, the value's up there. It may be adjusted a little bit, but it's just going to take a little longer.
Sounds like a good problem, right?
Not a bad problem. Yeah,
exactly. Susie, let's get into we got into some of the wins. Let's get into some of the struggles in the industry. What have you encountered that kind of set you aback or had to pivot and had adjust and be like, wow, what, I didn't expect this, or how do you get out of situations like this? So let's get into some of those experiences that you've had.
Okay. Well, I mean, there's a couple. There's our private money partnership. We had to pivot on that. It wasn't there, but after a couple days with our partner he was a little hurt. He had become befriended, had this guy doing jobs for him, was really trying to help this guy out. And the guy just didn't say anything and moved out. And he, after a couple of days of him being hurt more personally, we looked at the property with six acres, and we looked at a little more and all the options of things that we could do on it. And instead of just flipping it, because it was in a lease option purchase contract, which was now null and void, it's like, if we keep this property and pivot with it, we've looked at storage, RV storage. We can do, I think, a mobile home park, maybe an RV park. We can do distribution centers. We could do grow houses. When you get into it, we can do a lot of things are open on this property with the zoning it is. And it's in an area where the county's a little better to work with on if we do even decide to rezone it for something else. So we just took a breath, pivoted, and got our expenses covered. We're not getting paid out on the loan, but we're looking at it like this could do so much more than what we were even looking at. Yeah. So that deal there, when I also, I guess my first investment started when I didn't know anything. I thought I knew a lot. About 25 years ago, I jumped into this industry kind of without doing it. I'm a dentist, and I decided I didn't want to work for anybody else. So I went out to buy my own business, bought an existing one, and I knew dentistry. I knew nothing about buying a business.
Sure.
And I was young and dumb. Yeah. And so didn't put two and two together that it was being sold by a bank that had taken it back over from another dentist. Okay. And I was told she had health problems and had to get out, which happens in dentistry. It can be very hard on necks and backs, and other things can happen too. But it ended up that her health problems she was having a little drug problem, and she was trading prescriptions with a dealer for cocaine. Got busted on it.
OMG.
Learned from somebody else. The DEA had been in the office, like,
no way,
the walls. It was a year of stories just popping out left and right. And needless to say, the bank had a temporary dentist in there. They were not documenting everything. I did do background, like how many patients are in here. They were not updating the computers. They were not documenting in the charts. And I had figures of 83% off. And I did have one bank person who left soon after this deal closed there. But it was a national bank. And he left me figures that were pretty accurate to what we were finding when we were actually in there. So needless to say, it was a slow start. I was not making all your business plans and your numbers are out the window. And it's like, what are you going to do there?
Yeah, that sounds crazy. A dentist's office looked like it was a pharmacy.
There was a lot of people coming in for pain pills. The first year, you get to where it's like, take an Advil. I'm not the one who's writing out prescriptions for all of this. Take an Advil.
That is so wild.
So
That would be the last thing you think you would encounter, right? Venturing off into your own practice. You're excited about that. Maybe you have
yeah.
some apprehensions of how's it going to go, but you wouldn't expect
The
like
last
this.
thing I expected in my life, I'm pretty, I don't know. I don't live that lifestyle. I don't,
For
you know
sure.
what I mean? Run around in those crowds and it's like,
You're a
the
dentist.
last thing I expected. So
That's so wild.
yeah, it was crazy. We had
And
we had
how
one.
did you overcome that situation? Like how did you deal with it? Like
Well,
emotionally, like
all of a sudden you're not making the money that you projected, which is not good. And had a big bill for buying the business and getting into the property. Um, and so I got an attorney, but I was suing a national bank with attorneys on retainers. So basically, I threw few months, quite a few $1,000s away on an attorney. They were really nervous, but they knew financially like they could outweight me
mm,
because I had figures, I had the spreadsheet, I had stuff left to me by I think somebody who left the bank soon after the deal, and I had seen him once when I was in there. And so they were really nervous, but I eventually just had to drop it, and it was either go back on the loan and ruin my credit or work hard. And luckily, I was right out of school, put into investments, including a life insurance policy, an infinite banking policy that I was able to borrow against a little bit to get through a couple tight years, all my investments, and got it through and just worked hard and built a great business. And since then, I've bought another one and combined my practices, and that one went very smooth.
that sounds great.
I from the first mention, I was in that office and moved in like a month and a half with financing, everything. So I learned a little bit.
A tad bit, right? A smidget.
A tad
Yeah,
bit.
those are great experiences to lean on, right? That
Yep.
that you've been through something, right? That you've been through some challenges that you can kind of store that in the back of your head whenever they arise again. Because problems in business, they're one behind the other, right?
They are, and it's
You turn off one fire, and there's one, right behind that one, right?
yep. And one of my things I've been overcoming is, but I used back then was, no one's going to work harder than me. So I just doubled down, worked hard, and got through those years and built a business. Now what I've, mindset changes that you learn as you get older is, there were smarter ways to handle things. Two mindset things that I've grown on is, work smarter, not harder. And I was very much independent. I'm going to do this on my own. And I didn't ask for help. And kind of now going into this, our whole investment journey now, we're not doing, we haven't done anything on our own. We've partnered and reached out to our investment community, and we've gotten help on everything.
Yes, that this is the space. Real estate is that it's a people business, right? You have to surround yourself around those right people that you can leverage, right? Their expertise, their knowledge, right?
Yep.
Right, and be able to move forward in those relationships, right? Hopefully, a fruitful relationships as well, right?
Yeah. That's we try to spend few months getting to know. Like if we're going to partner with somebody a little bit longer term, it's like try to get to know them for a few months. Things will come. There's time, and then jump into deals. Our partner has had problems where he's had to dissolve partnerships and sell off properties, and he was a little leery, but we took quite a bit, 6 months or so to really get to know him, and we kept showing up. We kept asking questions. We kept offering, trying to help as a newer investor. What can we do? Asking questions. And so eventually it led to a great partnership so far. So
That's great because you feel like you fill the space, you provide some value wherever you can, and you're attentive to the person, showing interest, right? Wow, there might be something here, right? And they're not going away.
Yep. And so Yeah.
they're really intentful, and look where you're at now. Now let's climb out of the depths of hell. We've been to these places now. Now let's find our way to your vision. Let's cast a vision. Where is it that you want to be with your businesses in the next 5 to 10 years, and where do you see how you see that coming to fruition?
Um, well, we have a lot going on. Um, we we have well, this summer we got our first sub two property, and it was here in Denver, small house. It was a 2-1. We added 2 bedrooms, and we're renting it out, co-living. But the sweet thing on that property is that it is available to build a whole nother structure. So I think we're looking at a 6.3 or a 6.4 structure to go up on the same property. And the house that's been there almost 95 years will be the ADU. And so we'll have another bigger, we're looking at engineers plans and working with zoning on that one right now. So hopefully by the spring, we'll be able to break ground and get that up quick, but that'll be 2 co-living structures on one lot that we own.
That's so awesome. So that was zoned already without you knowing?
That was, we knew going in that was an option. We had multiple exit strategies ready on this property. And we ended up going with, let's do the co-living. And yeah, we're working with a contractor with some engineered plans and just trying to settle in on exactly what we're doing there so we can move on. We also we've been kind of looking at we may have a seller finance 17 unit mountain property coming to us. We have first right of refusal on that one coming up somewhere in the next 6 months. And we're looking at some land with our partner that will be 86 plots, and we're looking at doing modular construction on them. It has water rights. And so it'll be more affordable employee housing in an area that definitely needs it. So
that's awesome, Susie. A lot of things on the pipe. Can you just answer for the viewers what's the first right of refusal?
First right of refusal is when the owner of this property gets ready to put it on the market, he has said that he will come to us first, and we will be we get the choice on whether we want to go into negotiations with them and purchase it or refuse it. So
awesome. So yeah, so you're a buy and holder. It sounds like you're stepping into that space as well, right?
We're buy and hold, and then I am really working on building up a lending, private money lending business. Eventually probably getting some hard money lending and connecting funding partners to borrowers and deals. And so that's my main focus probably for the next few years.
Or just to build out that side of the business and expand it into, like you said, or maybe hard money lending as well.
Maybe, I'm open to wherever it can go. We're also looking at with our partner, he is ready to get a fund going right now. I'm still like, okay, give me a month or two. I'm learning everything. I am trying to connect all the dots, but we may be looking at getting a fund going for more of our buy and holds, but as the lending part of our group, you know what I mean?
Sure.
I'll probably be the one structuring a lot of that. So
what does it entail to build a fund?
That part I don't we have access to certain people. I know you need an SEC attorney and to get in, and it means I'll be reaching out to people I know who run some funds and getting a lesson in with them. And I think I right now have 2 or 3 people that I could try to set one up with. So it's just on my list of things to do and maybe coming up sooner than later. So
yeah, it seems like all that's in the horizon, right? Seeing that you're growing to the business, you've met a lot of connections, right? It
Yep.
sounds like you're in a good space. The business is in a good space, right? So that's awesome. Congratulations to you, right? And you
Yeah.
said, and you're also, your husband is also in the business as well, right? So I'm sure he's in there somewhere doing his
Yep.
thing as well, right?
Yep. Bob Greeley, he with our partner Ray Vieira, they are doing a lot more of looking at the properties the day to day. I'm still stuck in my dental office for a few days a week and trying to continue on the computer as much as I can all day long while doing dentistry. But they are out on these lots talking to trying, like, they are with a modular builder. My husband's trying to get connected to one that he'll be a dealer rep for if we get these 86 lots or other projects that come up, so that he'll come in as the dealer as our group and be able to also sell off to other people. But yeah, they got a lot going on that side, and I follow up in the evenings and on my 3-day weekends as much as I can with what has happened during the week. So
you still practice full time?
I still practice full time. I'm looking, my goal in going into real estate investment is hopefully next year. It may take a year, but to be retiring from dentistry.
Awesome. You'll be there.
So yeah, it's overload my plate right now and hopefully gain a lot of time back in a year.
Yes, this is the way to do it. You're on the path, right? You're right on course, I would say, right?
Yes.
That's awesome. Susie, thank you for coming. Where can we reach you if we want to get connected with you?
It's Susan Caspers on Facebook,
Okay.
and at Susan Caspers or at Sue Can Do It on Instagram.
I love that. Sue Can Do It on Instagram. That's a great name. You can't forget
Sue
that.
can do it and can too.
I love that. Susie, again, thank you for coming on. We appreciate you imparting your wisdom again. And hopefully we see you soon and continue to see where your journey's headed.
Well, thank you, Mando. I have enjoyed coming on here. Thank you for inviting me. And this has been a great experience.
Awesome. Again, ladies and gentlemen, Susie Casper. Bye-bye.
Bye.